Welcome to the 365 Performance Show with your host, Scott Dillon.
What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a great day. Today's topic is this: pain plus reflection equals progress. Alright, I want you to have a think today. When have you stuffed up real bad in the past? Or maybe it wasn't you personally, maybe it was a case that people around you maybe did a big mistake that kind of impacted you significantly. You could have blamed people or whatever, but at the end of the day, I just want you to think about a moment or some moments in time where you've been in a bit of pain. And it could be something as simple like maybe, you know what, you dieted and you were training really hard over summer, and then before you knew it, you let life get in the way and you put on a bunch of weight, and you sort of undone all your hard work, and it could be that case that you did that over a long period of time, or maybe literally, you were doing some focus thing with a bunch of people for like 6 weeks or something, and then you got 5 weeks in, and then over that weekend you sort of let your hair down, you had a bit of a blow up, and you put on a bunch of weight, and you just got really down and out about it. In these moments, these can be the things that actually give us the biggest gift, bar none. Because from pain, it leads to action. But most of the challenge that we go through these days, because we're the kings and queens of sedation, we can always make ourselves busy. We can just sit on the couch, numb our brains by watching Netflix, or we can go get pissed and not worry about it. If we can actually spend time to sit in that pain, feel the feelings associated with it, it can light a fire under our ass and make sure things like that either A, never happen again, or B, begin to not happen as much. I want you to have a think. Where have you been caught having the same stuff up over and over again, and you keep on pretending that it's not going to happen this time, instead of actually reflecting on it, reflecting what was the catalyst that led to it actually stuffing up in the first place. What were the emotions you were feeling, or the things that happened in your life that led to you to make those decisions that caused you pain later down the track? Oftentimes these things, if we begin to reflect on them, we can see it was not the event itself that caused the actual issue. It was the things that were leading up to it. Could be a case of, you were stressed. You were stressed the whole week, but then come the weekend, you sort of lashed out, you had a bunch of food, you drank heaps to sort of let go of the stress. But if you begin to look at it and you can sort of think back and be like, every time I have this huge build-up of stress and emotions, I tend to lash out. That's fine, but when you begin to reflect on it, that creates a possibility of things that you can shift in the future that can sometimes address those issues in a more proactive way. Could be something simple, so you're having a really shit week at work last week, and then on the weekends, you just drank, say, a case of beer. That's fine. But what could you possibly put in your life that would allow you to release some of that stress in a better way, in a more proactive approach? But I know for myself, like I would drink a bit too much on the weekends, and then I'd have this feeling of guilt if I either spent like $60 on a massage, or if I went and had a float for an hour, or if I did something on my own, like a hike. But then I began to recognize and realize that if I don't spend the time essentially going on a date with myself and de-stressing, I end up spending probably twice as much as money than that on alcohol and booze, which not only obviously costs more, but it has a flow-on effect, because for the next 3 days I felt terrible, and I wasn't as productive at work, and I wasn't as happy around my wife. Oftentimes, little things like this that sounds idiotic, especially for grown people, to talk about and be like, you know what, maybe you should have a think about that. But often we forget about it because we're so busy with our daily lives, and we're going from point A to point B, and we never spend any time to reflect on the stuff that we keep kind of stuffing up. And there's nothing worse than feeling the same pain more than twice, because it ends up going from just pain to being a mixture of guilt and shame, which I call shilt, and that's the most defecating feeling of all, because it creates self-hatred, and when that happens, it's a very hard place to get out of. So it's just something I want you to think of today. Where is an area of your life where you've kind of been feeling a bunch of pain on a consistent basis, and instead of reflecting on it and getting clear on what the catalyst is for it to continually happen, where have you been kind of just ignoring it? Go in there, and I want you to write down the feelings that you feel from that pain, the amount of times it's happened, okay? Write it all out. It could be, you could feel angry, you could feel frustrated, you could feel annoyed, you could feel depressed. Write it all down, and I want you to have a think and reflect on what led to those things happen in the first place. And it could be stress, it could be I don't feel supported, it could be whatever. And then based off of that, I want you to just pick one thing you could do in the next week that could begin to take a little bit of the pressure off from that happening this coming week. It could be something as simple as literally speaking to a friend to let them know how much stress you're going through at the moment. It could be something as simple, I don't know what ladies do, but if you're to get your nails done or get a massage or a pedicure or a facial or something simple like that just allows you to have a little bit of you time and de-stress. Could be a case that like you're really trying hard to prioritize your food, you've done really good lately, but you're sort of getting to this part where, you know what, I get to like 3 to 4 weeks in and I always feel like I want to stuff up and let my hair down. Maybe it can be a case of like today you simply like prep your food for the week, or you message a buddy and tell them what you're feeling about so they can actually support you and maybe hold you a bit more accountable. Something simple like that. It sounds idiotic like I said, but sometimes the simple stuff like this can help. And when you begin to reflect on the pain that's happened to you previously and put little plans and actions and targets in place to overcome it going forward, it can be a great place of progress. And most importantly, it makes you feel very powerful because you're proactively implementing things in your life that make you be a better person. Alright, hope you have a good day, and I'll speak to you soon.